So it goes from 130 to 200 in 30 minutes?
It'll go from like 40 to 200.
Oh. Real quick. Real fucking quick. So far?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
100? So far, yeah. Got another 400 to eat after this. It's a medium day. Yeah, my low days are just on my off days. Welcome back, YouTube. It is Tuesday. Tuesday. The 7th of January, which means we are exactly 1 month removed from our show. We were 188 pounds on show day. We're about 227 pounds as of this morning. So good solid 30 plus pounds. Feeling pretty good about that. Feels great. Feel much better at this weight. But good feedback from the coach, good feedback from Justin Harris in terms of overall how things are looking, how much size we've been able to put on without losing so much definition. He's spoken very highly of the progress that we're making. So that's a pretty good boost in confidence in terms of just maintaining the path, eating, 300 to 1,000 grams of carbs, depending on the training day. But yeah, just fueling up, feeling really good, sleeping really good. Not a damn thing I can complain about right now. Feeling really strong too. So we're gonna go up and weight here. But I'll do it as little as I possibly can.
I was kind of looking forward to having a little bit longer of a commute.
I like a good commute.
I like a 20.
A podcast, a YouTube video.
Yeah. I could jog here if I wanted to. I would never, but I could. But I'm not.
I think that will happen 0 times. 0 times. Kevin Spacey. That's Kevin Spacey. No, are you thinking of Fred Claus? Paul Giamatti played Santa Claus. And Vince Vaughn was his brother, Fred. Moving on to chest supported rows here. Again, more of a high force movement. Obviously, we're trying to use heavy weights for as much as we can. Really just keep the intensity high. But in terms of reps, things like that, we want to try and kind of fail in like the 12 rep range as opposed to like 15 or 16, which I typically would try to push like 15 towards the like isolation exercises, unilateral stuff where it's a lot more like trying to get mind muscle connection. On things like this, it's more so I just want to feel the intensity, feel like we're really trying to push some heavy weight, or in this case pull some heavy weight around. So probably go a little bit heavier. This is 5 pounds more than last week, so we'll probably go another 10 pounds to see how that feels, and just try to progressively load more and more as the weeks go on, as we're getting bigger. Whew. A lot of mid-back rhomboid activation, a lot of lower trap activation. So some of that kind of thoracic posturing, keeping your chest up, not rounding over the seat too much, makes a really big difference. But really on top of that, it's just about building density in the back. So creating that depth. Obviously you're gonna create some width as well, but I like to think about, again, more pull down variations, creating width in the lats, and then rows, creating more density and thickness. So you'll probably find that if you're struggling in one, do the other, and you'll see some big differences. If you find that you've been doing a lot of pull downs in your routine, it's like your main back movement, and you're wondering why your back isn't getting thicker, it's probably time to throw some more rows in and see some differences. Ooh. Yeah, other than the pads pushing on some very sore quads, everything here feels really good. So gonna keep this going as long as we can. Just keep the weight up, keep the tension in the lats the entire time. One thing I was talking about with one of my clients earlier was they're like, I'm feeling so much trap at the top. And so the big thing there is as you're lengthening and creating all that tension, your lat can only go so far. So if you keep trying to go through range of motion, you'll see your shoulders have to eventually come up. And so then what that creates, it's not really an issue in the lengthen phase, but as you try to pull back down into the concentric, you'll start feeling like you have to like do a reverse shrug to pull down before you can actually start depressing your scapula and feeling your lat actually engage. So just something to be mindful of is, again, the range of motion of the muscle you're trying to target, not the range of motion of the handles, the machine, the bar, etc. 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 I don't know. Yeah, way better to film it or to perform it this way with the feet down here as opposed to the feet up there, because my little ass, I can't reach with my legs, but I can reach here for the blocks.
I was like, that makes sense.
This is way better because it's more similar to how the movement actually is performed as opposed to doing it on the floor with the low cable. Like it's typically performed on like a cable stack or like a jungle gym stack with like 4 or 5, you know, different apparatuses. Yeah, so posturing kind of in the worst way for this movement. I'm trying to think about like keeping my spine, especially my thoracic spine, rounded as much as possible, kind of clenching, hunching down, keeping the rib cage depressed, and then just driving my elbows towards my groin. Kind of like, again, like a clinch, like a Muay Thai clinch or a Jiu-Jitsu kind of clinch maneuver. Again, I don't really have to know the why behind it. It just feels like a lot of lower lat activation. So. Okay, so we'll move on from here, get some single arm rows, and then we'll move on to some biceps and accessory movements. So getting a little bit of core bracing with this movement by not having a chest support. I'm just trying to kind of stay mounted, rotate the shoulders a little bit, force a little bit more length into those lats, and then pull just elbows down into the rib cage, into that hip as much as possible to keep the lats under tension for as long as we can. So moving on to biceps now. Dumbbell incline curls, a love-hate movement for sure. They're very effective, so I love them, but they are very hard. And the weights are a little unpredictable. You'll start off with like 40s, and by the end of the set, your last set, you're only doing like 15s maybe. It's a pretty steep drop off. Ooh. Finishing the biceps with some drop sets here. Try not to take too much rest, but try not to go just like right back into it. So a couple of sets with the incline curls, pre-fatigue, and now we're just gonna go kind of higher rep and just get a lot of painful blood flow. One thing you'll notice is I go every single time in between and put the weights back up where they belong. Novel thought. You find the weight that looks identical or as close to identical as the other one that you're using and put it next to that one. Should not be that hard. 30s, go by the 35s. Probably somewhere between the 25s and the 35s. You know, the little things. Ooh. Oh, the hardest part of the workout. Getting the shirt off, but high day yesterday, so about 1,000 grams of carbs, give or take. Trying to, of course, maintain leanness, try to build some muscle, create some width in the upper body, but not get fat and not lose too much definition. The way I tend to kind of handle diets in general, but kind of in alignment with what Justin has me doing, is really not allowing yourself to get up to like beyond 12% body fat. when you get beyond that point, your insulin sensitivity kind of goes to the shitter. And so what we want to really try and prioritize is getting as much muscle as we can. Obviously, you're going to accumulate a little bit of body fat once we go from like stage lean sub 6 like I was. Once we get to the point where we're close to like 10%, we'll start kind of reeling it in a little bit, maybe push a little bit more if we're pretty close to like where we really need to be. But yeah, the idea is once you get past 12% body fat, you tend to start losing a lot of insulin sensitivity. And the more weight you put on at that point, more and more of that is going to be body fat and less muscle. So trying to kind of stay in that zone, that 8 to 12% rep range or 8 to 12% body fat range is kind of like the ideal window in terms of insulin sensitivity and being able to accumulate a lot of healthy lean muscle tissue without putting on any excess unwanted body fat that eventually we're just going to have to peel off. So that's kind of the strategy this off season, is gain as much muscle without getting fat, and it'll make prep and dieting down for a show that much easier. So yeah, that is a wrap for today. We got a push tomorrow, moved our check-in from Thursday to Wednesday. So we'll do a check-in in the morning, another medium carb, medium calorie day, and then we will progress from there. Thursday, it's supposed to get really cold, really icy, so I'll probably just stay at home, and it's my off day anyways. So other than that, we will see you when we see you. Bo Alexander, Adapt Fitness, Dallas, Texas. Bye.